Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. I think everything's working correctly. Give us a quick little... Okay, that is in fact working. Time to hatch some more eggs. Tanika, welcome. Looks like I also saw somebody else new. Saray? Sorry? Austin, welcome. Marcus and Starkiller, welcome. How y'all doing tonight? What do you think, Marcus? Are we going to get closer to the goal of 500 today? Doing well. Had a pretty decent day at work today. Also managed to pick up a GameCube. Not that I needed another one, but I got that black one there now, so that's pretty cool. You think we might get 3? I think that's a pretty good... I think that's a pretty good guess there. You want the Mountain Dew? I also want the Mountain Dew. That's kind of why I bought it, actually. So now I have a blue GameCube, an orange GameCube, a black GameCube, and a silver GameCube. I think I got all of the base colors. I'm sure there's the clear one, the Panasonic one. Ain't ever gonna go for that one. He means the Mountain Dew. Of course. Oh, didn't see that. I think the Panasonic GameCube is the only color I don't have. Oh, I have all of the base ones. There is some clear ones, apparently. So there are some clear models I don't have. Hello, Shauna. I feel like that was egg 4. There's a clear indigo one, a clear silver one, a clear black one, and a clear green one, apparently. Maybe I will collect them all at some point. I also need an indigo blue Game Boy player. Evidently, group chat is only picking up. Gosh, dang it, kid. Every time. I'll be back. When I tell you this kid was dead asleep and then just woke up to spite me, it's basically what's going on. Little one is not happy. Guess who has their alt account back fully because brother figured out his password? That's actually really funny. Okay, I guess it's not wanting to work. We'll try a different method here. Copy. Exit that. There we go. Maybe. There we go. Alright, I think everything should be working just dandy now. Evidently not. Okay, yep, there we go. It's just a little delayed. Okay. Speaking of claiming, I don't think I went and claimed my other Xian Pao. I'm currently trying to figure out in my Pokemon Coliseum run the most efficient way to get the most battle coupons for Mount Battle. I'm thinking I might run through Area 5 repetitively. get somewhere in the ballpark of 800 coupons a run. As cool as this game soundtrack is, though, I think we're gonna rock out to some iTunes. Get some better selection going on. Starkiller, are you still lurking? Oh, yeah. Still lurking. Chameleon, welcome. You're tired of Howlchilla, huh? Marcus is on like day 3 of school. What the heck? Why does Streamlabs think I'm playing Pokemon Coliseum? That makes no sense. Oh, snap! Welcome. And Demita, welcome. How many steps needed for egg to crack? I honestly have no idea how many steps are needed for this. My Miraidon does not have an odometer reading. But I can show you how long it takes. Okay, so we're by this Messagoza sign right here, right? By the time we get to that Pokemon Center, they'll hatch. At least one of them. Oop, I was a little off. Oh, just a smidge off. And then it takes just a few more steps after the first egg to hatch the next egg, and then the next egg, and then the next egg, because it's like a 50-step reset counter or something like that. You have an actual career school? Well, Star Killer, I can tell you one of the rules of regular school is not doing what you did to get kicked out. Oh, gotcha, Marcus. PCTC, Putnam County Technical College. So yours isn't done through your main school district? That's kind of fascinating. When I did mine, I went to my school office, you know, just my regular high school office, and said, hey, I'm taking 3 work release credits. Deal with it. Here's my job pay stubs. I'll be going to work now. Peace out. EJ, bro, welcome. It's been a minute. Stupid stuff you really had no business doing. Yeah, well, I mean, that's how you learn the rules of the school. You get kicked out. And then they say, well, yeah, this is one of the rules of the school. You got the vid, huh? Bummer, dude. With the amounts of teachers that got cut, you had to switch over to doing it through the technical college? Gotcha. I didn't even have a teacher facilitating. I finagled my school rules so much my senior year. Because like I said before, each semester I only needed 1 credit for that semester, and I had to take 5 credits per semester because I had to take 1 class. It was all or nothing. Either you didn't go to school that semester, or you were there 5 hours, or 5 class hours, 5 periods, and there was no in between. So, my senior year, I got a hold of the lunch ladies and said, hey, I'd like to help make your sack lunches, but actually, I did that last year. Could you guys just say I was here? I gotta go to work. I have a niece to babysit and take care of on top of my actual job. And they said, all right, because your mom's a lunch lady and we know you're a good kid, we'll vouch for you. We'll say you're in this class. And then, because I live in an area where seminary is a thing, where you get to take a class hour away from school and go do church things, I told the school that I was in seminary, went over to a seminary teacher and said, hey, look, this is the situation. This is what they did to me. This is what's going on. I registered for this class. I have no intention of coming. And it was a 0 hour, so it was like an hour before school started. So to help get me out of school earlier, I took my regular class, which would have basically have been my second hour. And then my last 2 hours were work release. And I just told them, I'm taking the maximum amount of work release classes you'll give me. And that's that. I don't need to be here. I've done my work. And the seminary teacher was actually really cool about it. He was like, all right, at least you're honest. I'll do it. Show up every now and then, you know? And I'm like, once a month, take it or leave it. No, I never actually had to go. They understood my family situation. My parents were watching their grandkid, or, you know, raising their grandkid, and she got kicked out of daycare. Yeah. However you managed to do that. She got kicked out of daycare, so we didn't have anybody to watch her while my parents were at work. So we found somebody willing to watch her for exactly 3 hours, and so that was my class hours. I would go to school and then get out of school and then watch my niece until my mom got home from work, and then I would go to work. It was an interesting time. Also, guess what you got yesterday? You got a Charky boy. Very nice. Your birthday was on Saturday and you got a Nintendo Switch 2? Very cool. What games you got for us so far? Oh, I got away with so much in high school. It's because I had good grades. I was scheduled to graduate early, but they would not give me government A, B, and my senior project in the same semester so that I could finish and just be done with school 2 semesters early. Like, I didn't do seminary like the other kids, so I had 12 credits I didn't need. Mario Kart 2 and Sonic. Not bad. Not to mention, I further expedited my 12 credits ahead by taking like 4 classes from the alternative high school because they wanted kids to get a GED or a high school equivalent, or, you know, a high school diploma from the alternative school. And so they had 2-week-long blocks. So you go to school for 2 weeks, you get a credit for the class that you were taking, or, you know, whatever class you were taking. So I got these classes and I finished 4 classes over the course of 3 days and said, here you go. Here's everything that you guys need for me to pass these classes. Star Killer. You stole the answer sheets? Well, copied the answer sheets? That's pretty legit. Your oldest got kicked out of 2 daycares before he was 1? Yeah. You know what they really do not take kindly to at daycares? Toddlers smearing excrement on the wall. They tend to really not like that. Oh, yours was biting? Makes me nervous for mine. When mine gets mad, he bites. Like, he just gets so frustrated that he chomps down on whatever's in front of him. I'm sorry, what? Yeah, my niece, she liked to smear diaper contents on the wall. She never did it at home, though. Just at daycare. Oh, he was teething. Instead of working with teethers, cold rags, they kicked him out. Gotcha. You would lose it? Yeah. It was a frustrating time for sure. But that's the reason why I went to school half days the entire senior year, is I was helping my parents out with that. Definitely not, EJ. Survey says that is an untruth. Used to play Fortnite, did ya? I'm gonna see how talented I am here. So far, doing a bang-up job. You've been playing a little bit of Zelda Wind Waker. You're not a fan? What, too much water? You're at the first place that you take you, and it's just confusing. Map, everything is the same, and a lot of sneaking. Oh, the Forsaken Fortress? Is that where you're at? Yeah, the map's a little bit, tricky. Oh yeah. Definitely a learning curve for that map. But once you know the secret, it is pretty reasonable. That's funny because I think that Wind Waker is more fun than Breath of the Wild. I like the more classic dungeon feel. It's definitely colored by nostalgia, and it's more of what I like. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom don't feel like a Zelda game. Wind Waker is a better Zelda game than Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. Albeit, Breath of the Wild may in fact be a better game overall. You love open world games? And these maps that are closed and like mazes drive you insane and you lose interest fast. See, that is the essence of a Zelda game. That is its entire purpose and function. Navigate through a maze-like dungeon. Just wait until you have to use keys to unlock dungeon doors. Solve the puzzles to get the keys to unlock the doors, to get to the bosses, to get the keys to unlock the doors, to get to new puzzles, to get the keys to unlock the doors, to get the thing that lets you progress through the dungeon, to unlock more doors with keys that you just got, with the new item you just got. That's Wizard's Chest. You love dungeons from open world games, but these dungeons are super bland. Super bland? The theming's top notch. What do you mean dungeons from open world games? Examples. And don't you dare say Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. KT? You know what? Arya, welcome. Hogwarts Legacy has some dungeons. Nice. Skyrim had great ones, and Hogwarts Legacy had Elden Ring. Okay, yeah. Skyrim does, in fact, have good dungeons. And it is open world. Tears of the Kingdom was definitely a step in the right direction for Zelda. Breath of the Wild brought some good things, but sacrificed almost everything that made Zelda Zelda in their effort to explore open world. And I can forgive them for that. Because Tears of the Kingdom brought back dungeons in an open world environment. Now what they need to do is keep the same scale and size as Tears of the Kingdom, but actually bring back closed-ended dungeons like Wind Waker has. Then it would be perfect. No, Starkiller. They're not Zelda dungeons. Breath of the Wild didn't have, like, any dungeons, though. The Divine Beasts? Ain't it. That's not a dungeon. That's just a Rubik's Cube in a video game. The shrines, while cool puzzles, no respectable Zelda fan would dare say that the shrines are dungeons. Those had some maze things. They had those maze things. Yeah, the Divine Beasts, is that what you're talking about with the mazes? Like, rotate this, rotate that, rotate this, rotate that, and then the dungeon's done? No, I liked Tears of the Kingdom's dungeons. What they did with Gorondia was freaking fantastic. My only qualm with it is you could drop into any part of that dungeon from the air and just bypass every lock in there. That was my gripe with the Tears of the Kingdom dungeons. They're too easy to solve because you can just drop in from anywhere. The game's breakable that way. There's no static walls that you have to climb over, or, you know, I guess that you have to go through, I should say. You can climb over anything. They weren't part of the story, but they were massive dungeons you could do. Diablo 3 was good. I've yet to play a Diablo game, I'm gonna be honest. I do gotta say, though, the caves in Tears of the Kingdom were kind of like mini dungeons of a sort. They were very reminiscent of some of the locales that you could get into in the rest of the Zelda series, and I did enjoy those. I liked them calling back to their roots. But I think Nintendo was just hesitant to say, here's this great big open world and all of these tools you have to, like, overcome the world, and then put us in a dungeon where those no longer apply, or that are harder to apply. Because then they felt like it would be restrictive. Like, they've actually interviewed on this for why they did that way. But still, even after that, the Zelda fandom was like, hey, you guys really can just do dungeons. But then it becomes an issue of, if we have dungeons, there has to be item inventory, a reason to be in the dungeon, an item to collect to help you through the dungeon, mechanic-wise. And I think that they just struggled with creating unique local dungeons where you get an item that helps you progress without locking down the overworld to needing that item to go anywhere. So it's definitely a balance that needs to happen with the staples of Zelda dungeons, in addition to the open world aspect. It's a very hard thing to do. It's not as simple as just Skyrim, where your open world and your dungeons are progressing the same. If that makes sense. Like, Skyrim dungeons don't have items that you get in the dungeon. Generally, they have some that assist you through the dungeon, and then may later have a use in the overworld, like the lexicon, things like that, that act as a key that's later an item that you keep, or the dragon claw that's a key that's an item that helps later on type stuff. But they're not like super foundational pieces that help you traverse Hyrule itself. Like the hookshot. Without the hookshot, there's some areas in Hyrule you just can't get to. And I think they wanted to avoid that. So the dungeons you're talking about have shrines a part of them. To get to the shrine, you have to open up the area like an old dungeon, and you think they had special gear in Tears of the Kingdom. They added more of them. Are you talking about like the special things you have to do in the labyrinths to get the dungeon accessible? Yeah, the labyrinths. Yeah, those were one of their early attempts at seeing what is a way that we could make dungeons a thing in this. But again, with almost all of those, you can solve them by dropping in through the air. The only one I can think of that you can't is the well, all of them you can. That some are just a little harder than the others. But you can just get up to the top of the labyrinth and go drop down in the door. You don't have to go through the labyrinth. That's why you like them. See, while those are good and comparable to Skyrim dungeons, where your purpose isn't to really explore the dungeon, unlock things, solve puzzles, it's to get the loot at the end. Whereas a Zelda dungeon, you are specifically there to defeat something. To unlock a sage, or to free a sage, or get a piece of the Triforce, or what have you. So, like, while both are good, and I understand the need for both of them, that's why Tears of the Kingdom and Tears of, like, Breath of the Wild are terrible Zelda games, but phenomenal games in the Zelda franchise, if that makes sense. Then maybe I'm just biased. Like, I know that the general populace of the Zelda tube community that I'm in, the general consensus is we love the games, we hate them as Zelda games. Like, the games are amazing. Don't get me wrong. Don't get that twisted. The games are absolutely fantastic. Heading to bed now, Shauna. You have a fantastic night. You guess you just hate Zelda games? Fair, fair. You want a frustrating game? Try the original Zelda or Zelda 2. Actually, you probably already had with Nintendo Switch Online. Like, if you could play Zelda 1 and enjoy it, that is the essence of a Zelda game. Ocarina of Time, essence of a Zelda game. Like, it embodies it. Those two are like the Zelda games of all Zelda games, honestly. And Link to the Past. Gotta include that one in there. Arguably, though, I think Twilight Princess gets better reviews than Wind Waker for the GameCube set of them. You're not a fan of the old ones? They suck. You played them as a kid and only thing you did was cut the grass and got lost and throw the pots? Okay. Then you do not like Zelda games. You like open world games that Zelda happens to have a little dabbling in. Which is fine. Which is fine. That frustration, that ability to get lost and not have everything readily accessible, the dungeons to struggle through, the enemies to figure out how to beat, like, that is the endearing part of Zelda to me. Not to mention the theming, the lore, and everything else that goes with it. But when you get into open world games, it becomes I can go at this in any order I want with any equipment I want. If I can strategize enough and just min-max the crap out of everything and time everything correctly, I can go straight to the big bad, defeat it, and the game's over. CR7, welcome back, Marcus. Anything good on the GameCube probably won't come to Switch 2. You're watching a video earlier talking about how slow games are coming out, and apparently Nintendo won't release the dev kits. Yeah, I don't know how truthful that is, because I also saw that. I don't understand why Nintendo would say, let's not make games for the Switch 2. Like, that just doesn't seem to be in their best interest. Maybe they are. Maybe they are. I don't know. But it just doesn't seem to be a good business model. I know they want many people to do games for the Switch 1 that have upgrades for the Switch 2, and maybe that's their play that they're doing so that the maximum amount of players can use the game. I can see that being their play. Like, hey, we want you to continue to develop games for the Switch 1, but have an upgrade for the Switch 2. And I get it. It makes sense. And I think it actually might be the best plan from a business perspective. Because here's the thing. Are these indie developers that are putting games out like Sakuna of Rice and Legend or Fire Emblem, really needing the power of the Switch 2? Are these Japanese dating sims really needing the power of the Switch 2? No, they're not. They're played in like a 2D style, but with 3D graphics, and the Switch can handle them. So if you can put it on the Switch and do an upgrade graphic-wise for the Switch 2, you are selling to a wider range of people until Nintendo can get the needs served, the orders fulfilled, and all that. Not to mention the tariffs. Like, they're having trouble selling the consoles. Exactly, Starkiller. I have full faith and confidence that the studios that are working on, like AAA titles type stuff, those big hitting games, those really laborsome intensive games that are going to be on Xbox and PlayStation, those companies, I am sure, have the dev kits. I have no doubt that Nintendo gave them dev kits to say, hey, make games for our system because it can utilize the power. Like, the game will require the power. Like, I really do think that's their play. I mean, Nintendo is eating some of the costs of the Switch. Like, they're selling it at the same price point because they are eating the cost on the Switch 2 for the tariffs that were introduced. Game-wise, there's no excuse. But the Switch hardware, they are eating some of the costs. Kind of like Microsoft did with the Xbox Series X. They said, we will take the L on the console sale so that we can take the W on the game sales. Oh yeah, it's not that bad, but it does raise prices of things, so as a business, Nintendo's having to eat the costs. They don't benefit from us that much, but their government definitely does. Like, our tariffs and Japan's tariffs really more negatively impact the company than positively. Oh, no. Microsoft doesn't pay tariffs on their games, just the imported ones. On the Xbox Series X, it actually cost more to make the system than they sold it for. It had nothing to do with tariffs. But they do pay tariffs because the system is made and manufactured in, like, Taiwan or wherever the crap it is. They're not manufactured in the USA. The company is headquarters here. They still have to pay tariffs for importing the product because the product's manufactured in a different country. So that's a little bit of the nuance, but that's neither here nor there in the scheme of Microsoft. The fact of the matter is, for Microsoft, it just cost more to make the console than they sold it for because they wanted more people to buy the console and then get Game Pass or buy the game so that they could get that revenue. And it was a bad play because now they're basically kicking themselves out of the console wars. Absolutely, Starkiller. And from my own personal life, we don't do sales tax in my state. We don't do sales tax on digital products. So back when I was doing all of my stuff on my other channel, I never had to pay sales tax on it because I never did a physical product. Yeah, a lot of it is greed. I would agree with that. Alistair, hello and welcome. Are you our 302nd subscriber, or was that Arya? You've been subscribed to me for a good minute, but don't come often. That's fair. Well, thanks for being here. That's why you buy digital games that you can download. Yeah. It is easier to have things digitally in that vein. I like the resale value of having physical. There's just something about it for me that like I have to buy it physically. On top of the potential that they just say, you know what, you don't have access to this game anymore that I'm concerned about. I really like the idea that, hey, I'm done playing this game. I can sell it. And get some money back to buy another game. With digital games, I can't do that. Darth Raven, welcome and hello. Marcus, you have a great night. Good luck at school tomorrow. Have a great day. I agree, Starkiller. There's always the potential that it could happen. I don't know of any instances off the top of my head where it actually has happened. Nintendo has been very good. Allegedly, it happened with some PlayStation titles a while back. But Nintendo's very good about keeping their servers open so that you can still download titles. Like 3DS titles, Wii U titles, Wii titles. You can still access their online store and download them. So Nintendo's good about that. So yeah, I have not experienced losing access to one of my titles. I think most people have had it experienced with like an online platform similar to Steam. Not Steam, but one of those type of things where the company that was doing the product keys went under, and so they lost access to their titles. You know, gamers love to exaggerate. Yeah. You notice how dramatic some are? Definitely dramatic. I like to maintain a more mellow attitude towards it, respecting the possibility that it could happen. Like, yeah, if Nintendo went under, their licensing agreements with us for buying their games is null and void. Unless they sell their name to another company. As long as you have it downloaded. That's the point, Starkiller. As long as you already have it downloaded, you will have access to it forever. But if your computer dumps and the site is no longer available to download from, it's gone. That's people's problem. So as long as you keep ample backups, there isn't a problem. But with the cloud gaming, that's going to happen. They could take something off the store, and you can always re-download it from your cloud. Yeah. This is true. Nintendo Online offers with its membership, but it's hard to download a backup if that's your really worst nightmare. Yeah. Plus, not to mention, with Nintendo, there's other ways to get a backup. I'm sure eventually I will think about having fun with my Switch 2. But that's going to be after I get the next Zelda edition or Pokemon edition version of the Switch 2. You've had someone tell you couldn't play games that were digital without internet, which made you laugh because that's 85% of your games, and you always play offline at work and break. Yeah. Easy peasy. Shoot, I think you can even play Pokemon Unite offline. Dankatron! Just going through your closet and found an old Lego Ninjago set. Should you watch the show and relive your childhood 14 years later? Absolutely you should. While building the Legos. Anytime, Dankatron. If permission's what you're needing, I got you. Square. 450 eggs on Quaxley so far, no shiny. I feel that. I feel that. You need me to send a list of anime to watch on Discord because you always forget the names the second the stream's over? I got you. I got you. I will send you... my list of anime I've watched. I will update it tonight and get it sent over. We dee 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 down. Dee 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 down. Okay, well, that's all the eggs I have hatchable, really. That one's just gonna have to wait because I have to do them in groups. It's the law. It's at this juncture that I'm trying to figure out, should I close down this stream and immediately start up a new one for Pokemon Coliseum, or should I just put Pokemon Coliseum as the main one for this one and generate eggs or something? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think we should expect a Nintendo Direct next month. We had one just in July. There wasn't really a Nintendo Direct though. You remember before the system came out, they had so many games rumored for this holiday season, and now it's dead. Not wrong. Pretty mad they didn't release the system with Red Dead Redemption 2. Would you have bought it on the Switch? Just for the fun? You will buy that game basically because you love it so much. Fair enough. It's kind of like Resident Evil 4. Doesn't matter how many times I've played it. If it comes out on a new system or a remake, I am probably buying it. At this point, it's just tradition. Like, we're going to be over there on the PlayStation 70, and I'll find a reason to buy a new one. How much does Pokemon Home cost? I have no idea. It comes out automatically, so I never even think about it. I feel like it's $20 a year. Oh, it's not a matter of being rich. It's a matter of just forgetting about it. It does come out of my YouTube ad revenue on the main channel, so like it's just never something in the last 4 years I've had to consider along with Nintendo Network Online. It's just been a business expense that gets taken out. Granted, the way that it was phrased kind of makes it sound rich, but no, it's just... It comes out of a separate account that usually has some fundage in there for it. You already have way more subscriptions than you should, but yeah, you guess Pokemon Home would be a business expense. Yeah. Especially for what I was doing. It was a very vital part of my operation, not gonna lie. Oh yeah. Since I became monetized, I got a business account in December of 2022. So 23, 24, and 25 were all on business accounts. And it's lovely because in my state, the tax reductions I get for having a business, it's cool. So because of the way like filing taxes works, we use an accountant just to make sure that like we're on the up and up, but it requires a little bit of extra work throughout the year. But the business part gets itemized on my taxes, so I can claim standard deductions personally, but because I'm a sole prop on my business, it is still technically my property, and I have to pay personal taxes for it accordingly. But I get to itemize that portion of my taxes, more or less. I mean, there's more to it than that, but that's the simple terms, I guess. Yeah. Accountants are our friends. And because I have this room in my office here, in my house, I get to deduct part of my rent as a write-off because I have to have somewhere to do this. Granted, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it again next year, just because I don't think my income is going to be high enough this year due to everything that's happened, but we'll see. I think when your write-offs are more than you make in the business, they tend to not like that. No, because to sell Pokemon cards, it has to be a physical property with windows, egress, ground floor. Well, not necessarily ground floor, but it has to be accessible to the public. And I can't do that out of my apartment, unfortunately. Like, you have to be able to have a business and a sign seeable from the road type stuff. You will build me all of those things. Honestly, dude, if I can get, like... If I could get just $10,000... I would put up a temporary storefront. Like, I would move my YouTube studio out towards my parents' place. I would put the business out there for selling cards. It would be fantastic. Like, it cannot be a personal home, but I could put it on property next to one. It's not the Pokemon company, it's the vendors. The vendors are the hard ones to deal with. But yeah, if I could get a physical storefront, I would make a killing selling Pokemon cards. I am sure of it. Because with having an internet presence in Pokemon fandom, I think it'd be really easy for me to set up a website and sell Pokemon cards at a reasonable price. guess I'm cracking out. Oh my gosh, there's so many boxes of Phantom. Nope, I'm out of battery. That hasn't happened in a hot minute. Yeah, I know my GameCube's on. A little bit focused. All right, we officially have everything released. Why can't I host a picnic here? I just want to have a picnic with my friends. They won't let me. Oh, no, I definitely did not get the Sprigatito. No, I'm generating more eggs now. That's what the game was saying. Like, screw you and your picnics. No. Okay. Time to pause the music. Switch to this one. There we go. That was a waste of a turn. We're just gonna switch our priorities at the moment. I got 3,000 token tickets to earn. Star Killer, you know what's really sad about having 4 game cubes? I'm going to have to buy 2 more copies of Pokemon Colosseum for what I'm about to do. After Legend ZA dies down, shiny, hunting, all Pokemon Colosseum shinies. Unless I decide to Pico Boot 2 of them. And then I need to get a Game Boy Advance player for my Indigo GameCube. I already got 2 Wavebird controller or receivers, as you can see in that image back there. So I'll need 2 Wavebird receivers. And I'm going to see if I can quad hunt all the shinies. Although I may elect to inject a Master Ball into the game just to expedite things. Because while I do want to hunt them as shinies in the game, I don't care for the struggle of catching them. You think the Wavebird controllers are heavy? I haven't noticed. But no, the reason for the Wavebird controller is if you put them all to position 1, you can use 1 Wavebird controller to control all of them. And that's pretty fantastic. Yeah, Professor X. Shiny hunted with like 20 GameCubes using basically 1 Wavebird controller. This is the first time in this entire run that Espeon's been knocked down. Oh, not Signal Beam. Oh, good. It's hit him on top. I think Hitmontop's the threat here? I mean, evidently it is. Not exactly what I was hoping for. Oh, Hitmontop's not gonna listen to me. Oh shoot, I forgot I was hatching eggs. Grabbing eggs. Okay, that crisis has been averted. Oh gosh, dang it, she has another bug. bugs, and we'll be happy. Encore? Hey! Chameleon, welcome! Are you a Sakura fan? I should use a potion, I think. Dang. Okay, hopefully I defeat this and it gives me 1,000 battle points. We're going to do the only responsible thing, and that's going to be doubling up on attacks to make sure that whatever we're attacking meets its demise. As much as possible. defense strategist. I need to go see if the cat's locked in the bedroom or something. Ooh, it's also bug. I don't think that's gonna KO it, but whatever. Oh no, wait, it worked? Nice! It's super effective. It was stronger than the resist. Hello everyone, this is my Steve. Aren't you? Yes, you are. $800? That's not too bad. Oh, what does that say? You know what I really should have done? Saved, because now I have to finish this. It's okay. I only need to do this like 33 times. And my life will be so simple after that. Ooh, by the way. Eggs. I need the baby possums here. I got a cat. My autocorrect is atrocious. Yeah, he did one time, Starkiller. Last time I streamed this, actually. So, Monday night stream. I didn't get to stream last night. That was a bummer. Well, surely this can't be mean look. Tsuki no Hikari. Moonlight. Is that my healing move? Moonlight? I think I do want that. Third. We're gonna forget taunt. Magnitude 8. You know what the funny thing is about this Star Killer? This bottom left one, I can actually read. It is starting to come back to me a little bit. I actually don't know if you could read them even if they were... Oh, no, they're big enough. Oh, I'm sure it does. We'll see if the wife immediately goes into guitar playing when she gets home. We're more or less having leftovers tonight, so nobody has to cook. She asked me to set out her guitar stuff for her earlier, so I did so. We'll see if she jumps on that, and I'm able to stream an extra half hour tonight. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, Gen 3, how I loathe you sometimes. If you are confused in Gen 3, you will hit yourself 9 times out of 10. It is a fact. It's the law. Here at level 52, Espeon is going to learn its healing move. This game's so busted. Morning Sun. So, Starkiller, that is the reason why this is Pokemon Coliseum. This game does not have any wild Pokemon encounters. Pokemon XD Gala Darkness does because fans really requested it, but the whole thing with this region is it's a desert, and wild Pokemon aren't plentiful here at the moment. With the help of King, we start to have Pokemon Oases where you can go and capture Pokemon. The only Pokemon we can capture are the 48 from other trainers, the Agato Celebi from the bonus disc, and Ho-Oh for completing Mount Battle. So this is purely like story and building your team by following the story and capturing other trainers' Pokemon. Yeah, basically. And you can only still Shadow, so you're limited to the 48. That's why I have their outlines. Oh wait, you can't see that one. Team Rocket style. Yeah, just a little bit. I have... You're watching my vertical. I also have a horizontal screen that I'm looking at. And I was trying to record, but I failed last time. I don't need to be recording this one, so it's okay. On my horizontal one, I'll send you a screenshot in Discord. Those are the silhouettes of all the Pokemon that I can capture. And I've been monitoring my progress of what Shadow Pokemon's coming up next based on that list. They are in order that you encounter them, for the most part. No, I feel like I can take out my Brava. Yeah, really though, Starkiller, the reason why so many people love this game is it is kind of like, what if you could join Team Rocket? Yes, it is basically Pokemon Stadium 3. That is very accurate, actually. Oh, I see. Interesting. Hey, Angles, welcome. How you doing? Doing pretty great. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. End the stream here. I'll finish this off in my own time and then do many more iterations of it to try and get the extra Master Ball that this game's going to allow us to get, which should expedite catching the Shadow Pokemon really well, especially combined with the infinite Pokeball glitch. So I'm super excited for that. But we'll catch you guys in the next one, which will probably be Friday night. And we'll try to stream this as well as some more egg hatching